evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports and the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Paulo de Rosario. In tonight's game plan, it was Sweep Sunday for Gilas Pilipinas in the final window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. We'll talk about the national team's undefeated run through with 9-time PBA champ Coach Olsen Racela. We'll also have Coach Tab Baldwin joining us too. Scholar ng Bayan, Dario is back for the next part of his thesis defense. This time, we'll get his hottest takes for the NBA Conference Finals. And we'll check in with our 12th and latest Olympian shooter, Jayson Valdez, as he gears up for the Tokyo Olympics. Joining me on the show, Dario, you have a test later, and I'm excited to hear about that.
I'm actually nervous for the test, sir.
Yeah,
right now, I'm your co-host and not your student.
Ah, yes, absolutely. I'm excited to see what you've learned, though. But first, mga kababayan, nothing beats the Monday blues better than a beautiful Sunday for Pinoy hoops fans all over the world, courtesy of our own Gilas Pilipinas. Our young national squad officially wraps up the final window of the 2021 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers after sweeping all 3 games, punctuated with a repeat win over South Korea. Now joining us to break down Gilas' spectacular run is the architect behind the team, Gilas Pilipinas head coach and national program director, Coach Tab Baldwin. Coach Tab, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, guys. Good evening to everybody.
Coach Tab, as a coach of this very young team, I'm sure that you had internal expectations for this group after the run that you had in the bubble. Do you feel that maybe you surpassed even your own expectations?
I mean, honestly, I try not to have too much expectations of any teams because each game has its own character, really. But in the bigger picture, I didn't really fathom that we would win 3 games, and I felt we would be extremely fortunate to beat Korea one time. I just hoped that we would compete and get great learning experiences, which we did, both of those. But to eke out 2 wins was really special for the team, special for the country, and I'm very proud of these guys for the composure that they played with and the determination that they played with.
All right, Coach, you said that you didn't expect to win all games, but what surprised you the most from the performances of, this qualifiers?
And speaking in terms of surprises, I guess it was the fact that we did end up winning. I expected them to play hard. They did. They played exceptionally hard. I expected to lack cohesion and chemistry, and we did. I didn't think we looked terribly cohesive out there. I think a lot of the plays that we made were just out of determination and toughness and hustle. So it wasn't pretty, but I think in that sense it kind of met my expectations, but I didn't really believe that we would compete as well as we did with Korea, and I thought Korea was very good. I just think our defense was tough enough to keep us in the game, and the players played with great composure in those later stages, and we got wins that frankly surprised me.
Coach, this group seems like a humble bunch considering the fact that, I'm sure you're aware, social media went crazy after what you guys did in the bubble. Actually, after that first game, there was just so much hype, and yet you kept the guys with their feet on the ground. How difficult was that, or are you surprised with how they reacted after all that adulation?
No, I wasn't really, because you're right. They are a very humble group of guys, and we've been working really hard, in Laguna and the bubble on building a culture and building a philosophy. And a big part of that is that, we stay humble and we keep ourselves focused on growth and improvement. And that our ultimate goal is 2023. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So, we didn't take the games in stride. I can't say that. I mean, the boys thoroughly enjoyed the wins and we're very excited to get them. But they've done a good job of realizing that this isn't our end game. This isn't what we are all about. And keeping themselves focused. And I think that the Korean coach perhaps helped us a little bit with refocusing ourselves with, of course, the comment that's been much talked about the lucky shot. So, those sort of things, you use them to keep the players focused. And I think the players did a great job of sticking to the task.
Well, Coach, you mentioned about that comment, and it feels like the gamesmanship never really ended after the final whistle was blown. But looking at how the team has developed in the bubble itself, I'm sure that you're also using this experience as a lead up to the OQTs. Do you feel that the way this team has developed in the past 3 games has changed what you guys are dramatically?
No, I honestly don't. I think it's validated some things that are important, such as hard work, playing the game competitively, don't give in at any situation, have composure even when things aren't going well. These are all messages that are consistent with most teams, but the fact that they're doing those things is a real credit to the boys and credit to the team. But as good as South Korea is, and I think they're very good, I don't think we've even tasted the level of competition we're going to get from Serbia. Dominican may be something similar to South Korea, different styles, and it's yet to be determined whether our styles will be, complementary or whether we'll suffer, against their style. But Serbia is certainly an entirely different level of basketball, but it'll be good for us. It'll be very good to experience that, to see what it feels like to play truly elite professional basketball players, and to see how well we can compete with them when we know we're far from our best and far from where we want to get to. So it's going to be a great challenge, and we're excited about it.
Coach Tab, once again, congratulations, and we're excited to see how you guys will fare in your next big test come in the OQT. And we all know that that the support from the Philippine basketball fans is all out. Thank you very much.
Congrats, Coach Tab.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Now joining us in our discussion to talk more about Gilas in the Asia Cup qualifiers, 9-time PBA champ, former national team player, and current head coach of the FU Tamaraws, Coach Olsen Racela. Coach Ols, kamusta ka naman?
Hi, Coach.
Hey, hi Pao, hi Diego. Nice to be here.
Coach, pag-usapan muna natin yung qualifiers that just happened. And a lot of people were surprised that a group this young was able to perform at such a high level. How did you feel seeing that yung mga bata natin, and even one of your own players, they're all growing up before our very own eyes?
Yes, actually, it's always a tough team to play ang Korea. So I was really expecting the team really to compete. But, I didn't expect them to go 2-0 against Korea. I was expecting them to win against Indonesia, but I wasn't really expecting them to win 2 games against Korea. But I think Coach Tab and the whole coaching staff really did a good job of preparing these kids. They look like they really look like a team out there. Even if they had a few weeks to prepare, I think the coaching staff really did a good job of preparing them and really giving them the opportunity to be there at the end game.
Coach, dahil nga All Saints Day tayo tonight, you're our guest tonight. Kailangan natin pag-usapan si Saint Dwight Ramos, as they called him. He was very crucial for Gilas last night. Ano masasabi mo sa performance na dinala niya sa Korea, Coach?
Well, number one, I think he's ready for the pros. I mean, he hasn't played a single UAP game, a single college game, in the Philippines, but he's ready for the pros. I mean, that's how good a player Dwight Ramos is. And I think his stats during this window showed that, what I just said. And he's glue for this team. I mean, he played point guard, he played 2 guard, all positions except for center. But he played really well. And nakakatakot tong Ateneo ngayon darating na UAP
Oo nga
the way they play now.
Well, Coach Ols, I just wanna clarify, hindi po All Saints Day today. And we're only saying that because of the name, okay?
Yeah,
Kasi
yeah.
I just wanna make sure that no one's
Siya yung
looking at the
guest
calendar
eh.
right
Dahil
now.
siya yung guest.
Oo. Dahil Coach Olsen yung guest, All Saints Day nga. O, tama. All Saints Day.
Yeah,
Yan na lang. Oo.
Yeah.
Pero, Coach, one of your standouts is RJ Abarrientos, and he actually did, he changed the game in some ways, in the sense, kasi instant offense siya eh. Is that something that surprised you, knowing him closer than most coaches?
Well, I knew that, Johnny, sabihin ko dapat eh. RJ will be coming off the bench for this team. So, because of that, I felt that, he needed to have more energy coming off the bench. And that's not the RJ Abarrientos I knew. And that surprised me. I mean, he was the spark against Korea in their first game. I mean, in both games, he provided the spark. When they were down by 16, I think, he started the rally.
Yeah.
And but I already know that, RJ is a very talented guy and very skilled player. He hasn't played a single UAP game for us, but I know his potential. He's full of potential. Baka nga mas magaling pa to sa tito niya eh.
Ah,
Wow.
ayun. Okay, you see, that is the sweeping
Wow.
statement na gusto ko nang makita sa headlines bukas. Pero, Coach, it's funny kasi if you close your eyes, it feels like you're talking to Johnny eh. Kasi grabe, they sound exactly alike.
Yeah, totoo yan Pao, they sound alike. Magka-poses silang dalawa. So, parang naririnig mo na rin si Flying A, si Johnny Abarrientos. But when you look at them, they're really poles apart. I mean, si RJ is taller. Okay? Si RJ, well, we're talking about basketball.
Yeah.
The basketball aspect. And RJ has more range than Johnny. Okay? But Johnny has a really dangerous crossover. Yun yung nakakatawag kay Johnny. But I think at this level, because when Johnny was 21 years old, he was not that good.
Yeah.
And si RJ would see the whole floor,
Yeah.
and he would understand everything. He's so experienced that you wouldn't think that he hasn't played a single UAP game, a single college game.
It's incredible what he has shown for Gilas Pilipinas, and we can't wait to see his development under you also, Coach. And let's see what he can do against Ateneo, who, as you mentioned, will be tough in the upcoming season. Coach Olsen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Coach O.
Yeah. Thanks, Pao. Thanks, Diego.
Now, when we return, Escolar na ang bayan, Diego Dario, back for the second part of his thesis defense. This time, we'll get his hottest takes for the NBA Conference Finals. Keep it here. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the beautiful time of the year. Lights fill the streets, spreading so much cheer. Because the NBA Conference Finals is here! Yes, sir! Trae Young and the Hawks shut down the process of Joel Embiid and the Sixers setting up an Eastern Conference Finals duel against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. Meanwhile, Devin Booker shined with a 40-point triple-double as the Suns took Game 1 of their Western Conference Final Series against Paul George and the Clips. Now, in line with the NBA Conference Finals, my student only in name, because I'm not really a teacher, Dario is back to present the next part of his thesis defense. Now that graphic will never get better. This time around, Jago will give us his 5 hottest takes for the conference finals and he shall defend them accordingly. I have not seen any of these hot takes, quote-unquote. Tingnan natin kung hot talaga. And Jago, the floor is yours.
Sir Pao, I just want to know how long this thesis defense is.
It'll take as long as it has to. Okay, so let us go.
All right.
Grabe yung graphic mo dito, ha? I mean, like, you look like a proud graduate, sir.
Before everything, sir, I need to wear my ID.
May ID!
I need to wear my ID, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Baka magalit si guard sa labas.
Tama yan. Hindi ka makakalabas.
All right, sir. For today, I'm gonna be presenting to you my top 5 takes for the NBA playoffs. So,
Okay.
Number 1, for the first slide, we are gonna have...
Tuloy mo na. Mamaya na yung slide.
All right, so for the first slide, this is my first take. Suns will sweep the Clippers.
The Clippers. Okay. In the conference finals, that might be tough. I'd maybe say the first or the second round, but the Suns sweeping the Clippers, that is a wild statement. Why so?
I believe so, sir, because, a while ago, Suns won Game 1 against the Clippers, and that was without Chris Paul. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Clippers, it's only Paul George that's going to carry the team. Kawhi Leonard is injured, so I don't think they have enough firepower to beat the Phoenix Suns.
As a Jazz fan who just got demolished by a guy named Terrence Mann, I respectfully disagree. Pero makita natin kung the Suns will sweep the Clippers. I honestly feel that is wild, and I don't think that is gonna happen. But if it does, then siguro we can guest you more on the show.
Let's see,
Right,
sir. Let's
next.
see. All right, for the second one, there will be no Game 7s in the conference finals. So I think this actually might happen, sir, since I said that the Suns will sweep the Clippers. On the other side, on the Eastern Conference, it's going to be the Bucks versus the Hawks. I just don't think the matchups are balanced enough for them to get to Game 7.
And feeling ko connected to another hot take because it feels like you have something to say about the matchup in the Eastern Conference. I don't think that this is too hot. Siguro somewhere in the middle. See, I mentioned Giannis. Lumabas na si Giannis. That's what you call power. But I feel that there is going to be an interesting, maybe a hole spotted between the Bucks and the Hawks that I want to see if you spot. All right, let's see.
All right, for my third take, this is a little bit of a prayer. I just hope that there will be no injuries in the rest of the playoffs. I just hope that the, basketball gods give this to us. It's just no fun when there are injuries.
That is true. We've seen too many superstars miss out. We're seeing a lot of rising stars right now because of the injuries. But again, no one likes seeing anyone hurt. That's right. So move on.
All right, for the next one, just a quick one. I hope Giannis proves me wrong. Giannis will shoot less than 50% from the free throw line.
Sino ba siya? Si Ben Simmons?
So I just think that he will. I'm not a fan of his free throw routines, taking 10, 20 seconds. I just don't think it's going to help him.
Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo has a lot to prove. Shooting in the free throw line is going to be a big factor. Alam naman natin that he has become he wants a willing three-point shooter.
Yes.
So, let's see whether or not that comes through. I disagree with that as well. I don't think it's that hot because of his routine and maybe the focus on the free throws might become too much, but I don't think he'll become that much of a liability. All right, and your final take here?
For my final take, the Bucks will make it to the finals against the Phoenix Suns. I just don't think the Hawks have anyone to guard Giannis. He's going to be creating for them. Let the shooters shoot.
Okay, so this is interesting because that means you feel that Drew Holiday will lock up Trae Young, who couldn't be locked up by Ben Simmons, who couldn't be locked up by Matisse Thybulle, and so Drew is the answer, or whoever else you think can guard Trae.
So it's gonna be Drew guarding him in the perimeter, but there's gonna be Giannis in the paint and Brook Lopez. So that's gonna be hard for Trae Young to penetrate and create for his team.
Well, you know what? The Hawks are arguably the most fun team to watch
Yup,
right now
I agree.
because of their characters. And if they see this clip online, I hope they call you out. But Diego, I appreciate those takes. 2 or 3 of them were pretty hot. I think the Suns will sweep the Clippers is the hottest one by far. No Game 7s. I think that's a bit predictable. Giannis, though, your number 4, I think is going to be something to watch out for. A 3 is a great hope. The Bucks will make it to the finals, as I think a lot of people actually predicted that before, right? But then now more validation coming in. And Jegs, I think for this one, I gave you 1 for that Jazz comment that you gave me back then. But since I'm a bitter person right now, dos na lang muna. All right, dos na lang muna.
I'll take that. Dos.
Okay, Diego, thank you very much. And after the break, we'll check in with our 12th and latest Olympian shooter, Jayson Valdez, as he gears up for the Tokyo Olympics. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. I'm Paulo de Rosario, still joined by Diego Dario. Now, the Philippines has its 12th Olympian for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. 25-year-old shooter Jayson Valdez clinched an Olympic slot via the quota system of the International Shooting Sports Federation. Valdez, who will participate in the men's air rifle 10-meter event, is the first delegate in this event since our wildcard entry in shooting back in the 2012 London Games. Tonight, we'll catch up with the young sharpshooter himself, pun intended, Jayson Valdez. Jayson, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Hi, hello guys. Thank you for having me here. Hi, everyone.
Jayson, if I'm not mistaken, we've met before. And I believe that you know I'm a terrible shot. But let's focus on you here. And Jayson, may lifestyle change, if I'm not mistaken, that you actually did recently, losing an incredible amount of weight. I'm not sure kung tama to, 16 pounds or 16 kilos ba?
It's actually like 11 kilos.
11 kilos.
I don't know,
So, okay. So let's say 11 kilos. But then 11 kilos, can you explain to us why? Did that help you in terms of yung game mo, in terms of your ability to actually shoot?
Of course, it helps me na to become parang physically fit because before I was not really very focused on my body weight. It really helps me to become more efficient in my events, and I actually really preparing for military. So medyo talagang I'm really preparing for big event, not actually for Olympics but for becoming a military man. So doon ako medyo nakapag-focus this time, but eventually binigyan ako ng chance for Olympic Games. So eto na.
Well, again, Jayson, congrats. Pero, kamusta naman yung mental preparation mo and syempre, the process of preparing for the Olympics? How was that like? how was the process like for you?
Actually, before naman this Olympic Games or before the qualifying games, we have the PSI. PSI is helping the whole team actually. So I have the schedule for psychological sessions namin and nutrition, physical. Preparing for Olympics is actually we have the plan already nung Saturday evening. So until now, medyo kahit pa paano we're struggling pero really focusing on how we can improve more in this limited time of given time for me dahil I was really expecting na makukuha namin yung slot. So or makukuha ko yung slot. So we had we talked last night. So siguro actually na Saturday. So siguro medyo ito na yung time for to focus more. I got vaccinated lang nung Saturday. So medyo na for 3 or 4 days.
Grabe, Jayson. You know, we're loving the updates that we're getting. Unang-una that you're improving mentally, getting ready for the Olympics. We all know that shooting, as much as it's about accuracy, it's also about yung mental game and knowing that you have to deal with so much. And that's a lesson I learned from you, actually. When I interviewed you last time, nagpapakita kami ng highlights ngayon from that episode from the playground. An award-winning show, mind you. And that's also thanks to you, Jayson. And Jayson, konting update lang. Military training, you mentioned that was your initial goal. And I can't believe I'm saying this, pero medyo bonus lang yata yung Olympics. But what are your goals in terms of being part of the military?
Actually, sinasabi ko nga na itong Olympic Games is a blessing in disguise. I'm actually waiting for final call this week. So, siguro talagang hinatak ako ni God to participate in this big event, the Olympic Games. So, I'm actually aiming for, as a Philippine Army and siguro we'll see kung what will happen next dahil medyo binigyan ako ng nag-set back ako for military but then they were actually asking me if I was still able to go through but well siguro I'm not actually thinking about it more dahil that's also one of my vision this coming year so siguro it's more pressure but at the same time a good pressure for me dahil this time I'll get to represent the Philippines in another stage, but one of the, big stage this time for Olympic Games.
Tama. And Jayson, you and I, we have something alike. Our fathers have won a SEA Games gold medal. Ikaw, Julius Valdez, 3-time SEA Games gold medalist. Ako, yung dad ko, assistant coach sa gold medal winning team. Pero Julius, this that achievement, that legacy that you're actually following, it's something that you're very proud of. How does your dad feel about what you're doing right now, representing the country in the Olympics?
Actually, yung dalawang dad ko yung happy right now because si Papa is really aiming. We really planned this for like 10 years already. So, and yung isa kong dad, si Sir Tak Padilla, is actually supporting me ever since nag-start ako mag-shooting. So, siguro, actually, it's a Father's Day gift ko sa kanila nung Sunday. Dahil Saturday morning na nilabas yung news about being the 12th man in SEA Games, in Olympic Games, sorry. But then, nung tinawagan ko si Dad Tak nung morning, sobrang congratulate niya and I can see his smile while calling him. So sabi ko it's very sabi ko nga na ito na yung pangarap natin tatlo. So tinutupad ko na dahil it's really a very big opportunity for me na i-represent ng Philippines and talagang sinuportahan ako ng dalawa kong papa.
It's a big opportunity. It's a big honor, Jayson. It's a pleasure having you on our show. And hopefully after this pandemic and hopefully after the Olympics and maybe with a medal around your neck, mag-shooting ulit tayo. Dalhin ko si Diego kasi
Pwede.
Oo.
Hindi pa ako marunong eh.
Oh, look, when I took my last shot, I screamed Kobe. Walang nangyari. It doesn't work that way eh. It doesn't work that way eh.
Hindi pala nag-affect sa ano yun.
Oo, pero Jayson, salamat. Thank you very much and we hope to hear from you again soon.
Thank you for having me here.
Thanks, Jayson.
That was Jayson Valdez, our 12th Olympian for the Tokyo Games. And for everyone else, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Paulo de Rosario. He's Dario. This has been The Game.